The Bible tells us something very interesting about Noah. After the age of 500, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Later, when Noah was 600 years old, the great flood covered the earth. Only Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives were saved in the ark. All people on earth came from this one family. There were 10 generations from Adam to Noah. Then, there were another 10 generations from Noah to Abraham. Right in the middle, 5 generations after Noah, the story of the Tower of Babel took place. After the flood, Noah's sons had children, and their families grew larger. At first, all people still lived together. They spoke one language and shared the same way of thinking. There were no nations yet. There were no different languages. Humanity was still united as one people. The whole earth had one language and the same words. At that time, people traveled east and found a wide plain in a land called Shinar. This land was in Mesopotamia, in the Middle East. People from all families, from Shem, Ham, and Japheth, were living together there. Among Noah's 3 sons, the Bible gives special attention to Shem. This does not mean Shem was the oldest son, but it does mean that God's promise would continue through Shem's family line. The Bible carefully records this family line. From Shem came Arphaxad, then Shelah, then Eber, then Peleg. The Bible says something special about Peleg. It says, "In his days, the earth was divided." Many Bible scholars understand this to mean that during Peleg's lifetime, the great division of people and languages occurred. This connects directly to the story of the Tower of Babel.
They decided to build a city and a very tall tower. They said, "Let us build a tower that reaches the sky, and let us make a name for ourselves." At first, the work went smoothly. When someone said, "Bring the bricks," everyone understood. When someone said, "Stack them higher," the tower grew taller and taller. But something began to change. People became proud of their work. The tower became more important than people. If a brick fell, everyone worried. If a person fell, few noticed. God saw what was happening. God knew that pride would lead people to hurt one another again. So God chose a quiet way to stop them. God confused their language. Suddenly, people could not understand each other. A simple request sounded strange. A friendly word sounded angry. Work slowed down. And then stopped. People argued. They felt confused and frustrated. At last, they left the tower and moved to different places. They spread across the earth. This is why the place was called Babel, because their language was confused. The Bible also connects this time to a man named Peleg. His name means division. The Bible says, "In his days, the earth was divided." This means people were divided by language and spread throughout the world. The descendants of Shem moved mainly toward the east, into the Middle East. They settled in a rich land between 2 rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This land was called Mesopotamia, Assyria, Arabia, Persia. The descendants of Japheth moved mainly toward the north and west. They traveled to regions that later became parts of Europe, Greece, the Black Sea region, Turkey. Many European peoples are traditionally connected to Japheth's line. The descendants of Ham moved mainly toward the south. They settled in places such as Egypt, Ethiopia, North Africa, and the land of Canaan, which is now Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria.
The story of the Tower of Babel teaches us important lessons. Pride can separate people. Success without kindness can hurt others. And when people forget God, they often forget one another. But the story also brings hope. God did not destroy the people. Instead, God guided them in a new direction. From that moment, many languages, cultures, and nations were born. And so, the Tower of Babel reminds us to choose humility, to value people over achievements, and to remember that understanding one another is a great gift.